Hi, why did Taylor Swift re record her songs? It's all about the money. Let me explain. Alright, now, we all know who Taylor Swift is. If you don't, then you've been living under a rock for the last 20 years. Of course, we all know that she's on a world tour and her tickets are going around. And we're from the Philippines and it's very hard for us to watch her. We have to watch her in another country. Now I tried to buy tickets, but apparently there's an age limit to buy tickets. But so I didn't qualify. Anyway, in about a couple of months' time, Taylor Swift is going to release her previous album, the 1989, and it's simply called Taylor's Version. And people are asking, why is she re-releasing her old album? Here we go. Now, first of all, I'm Dean Rod Vera. I'm a copyright and entertainment lawyer, and I'll explain to you why certain artists do this. Now, a brief history, from what I read on Taylor Swift. She signed in 2005 with Big Machine Records. Of course, as a young artist, when you sign a recording contract, you may be blinded or naive to the actual terms and conditions of the contract. So, at least on that part, when she signed in 2005, whoever her lawyer was smart enough to make sure that Taylor Swift retained ownership of the songs as a copyright or compositions, rather. Now, when a recording company, such as Big Machine Records, signs an artist, they usually front the money to record the album. Go to the studio, hire musicians, rehearse, actual record the music, whether on tape or a digital masters. And the end result after the end of the production or end of the recording session is what in the recording industry calls the masters. These masters are the original audio file, so to speak, and it is there where it is digitized, it is packaged, it's either digital music in Spotify or other mediums, or maybe shown to record stations and other platforms. Now, what happened here was her first six albums under Big Machine Records, that record company owned the masters, meaning any revenue or any money earned from those songs derived from those original or the masters, depending on the agreement with Taylor Swift, owns the revenue. I'm sure Taylor Swift made an arrangement on the percentage wise, but necessarily the ownership of the masters belonged to the record company. Although Taylor Swift owned the copyright of the song. In copyright law, there is a unique feature called copyright and material object, meaning a author or owner of a copyright work owns the work itself as a composition. But, for example, an author may own the book or the story, but you may own the book if you bought it in a bookstore. You can do anything with the book, but the story itself or the novel, the copyright over that belongs to the author. Now, for Taylor Swift, she may own the songs, but maybe in the agreement with Big Machine Records, she didn't own the masters. Now, the record company probably has distribution rights over those songs, first six albums. So therefore, they could dictate where they are played, how they are played, and how much money they can earn. Here's the thing. The contract with Big Machine Records expired in 2018, meaning Taylor Swift, as of 2018, was free to record wherever she wants, sign up with any record company. But unfortunately, their first six albums, the masters, were owned by Big Machine. It was sold to a private equity firm, a person named Scooter Braun. He's very famous right now for that. And he sold Taylor Swift's masters in 2019 for $300 million. So a person who has nothing to do with the recording of the song, composing the song, or has nothing to do with Taylor Swift, made money based on the masters. Is that unfair? Theoretically, no, because it's just business. But of course, how could somebody who has nothing to do with the recording industry, has nothing to do with the composition, has nothing to do with the recording, made $300 million? So, for Taylor Swift, she was released or the contract expired with Big Machine, she now had the independence to control the means, the method of production, and most especially the distribution of her music. Now, since Big Machine owned the masters of her first 6 albums, what Taylor Swift did was to re-record those albums, those songs. Of course, she can afford to do it on her own. As you know, recently I saw a news report that Taylor Swift paid her staff, her concert staff, $55 million. I think she had money to spare to record an album. Right? Let me reiterate the uniqueness of what Taylor Swift did. She signed in 2005 with Big Machine Records. She was an up-and-coming recording artist. She was smart enough to own or retain the copyright or ownership of the songs. I'm sure Big Machine Records said, hey, since we're fronting the money to record the album, regarding the studio, we're the musicians, so forth and so on, we get to own the masters, and we will set up distribution rights to other platforms, and we'll just give you either royalties or a fixed percentage. Of course, when you sign as a young artist, a lot of bands do this. They are shielded from what's actually happening in the recording contract. I've represented a few bands in my career, and I'm telling you now, there's this few bands who are in existence or have been here for more than 20 years, and on paper, they still owe money to the recording companies. That's a sad fact. So, what happened here was, since Big Machine owned the masters, sold to Scooter Braun, who sold it again for $300 million, if Taylor Swift re-recorded those songs or those albums with her own or her own version of the songs or new masters, people will then recognize her as those are her songs. She controls it, she owns it, and any song, whether it be from Spotify, YouTube, or any platform that has that, she can control the revenue. Of course, she makes millions and millions a year, but that's what musicians do, especially the good ones, especially the more popular ones. It's their way of living, it's their way to earn from their craft, and we should respect that. Just like any other billionaire who earns money from their own work. Those musicians who fortunately got to see this video, when you sign up with a recording company, make sure you read the fine print. Hire a local lawyer, but if you hire a lawyer, make sure that lawyer knows a little bit of intellectual property. Because that's a unique field of commercial law, and its uniqueness can either determine or make or break a musician's career. Remember, folks, it's not what you know, it's what they don't know. Hi, please do me a favor and smash that like button. It'll help me a lot, and it will trigger the YouTube algorithm. Now, if you have not yet, please subscribe to my channel. If you don't, my dog will eat this exam booklet, and that student has to repeat his final exam again.